It's game time, fellas. Welcome to the Great One Production presents another jam-packed, jaw-dropping, all-aspiring wonders of the world episode of the Ringside Power Hour, being recorded from Suplex Studios, where we will hear the Reverend preach, Hollywood begs and pleads, Double J flapjacks factless information, and the Samurai slices through the bullshit. The four greatest hosts in the world who will make it rain like purple rain. This is the Prince-loving, purple-bleeding, bad mouth of podcast, the Suplex Samurai.
And what's up, my mother Jeffers? You know who the fuck I am. I am your badass flapjack of podcasting. I am your white delight, and I'm going to throw it at Mike.
Taking the stage once again, hold the photography because the test results, they came out negative. That man right here who just bought a double wide in the corner of Sunset and Vine, the white trash zero, Hollywood hero himself, Hollywood Michael Paul.
And the Reverend will not be preaching this week because he's in church praying for us.
He's not in church. I heard he's back at that communion camp again.
Communion camp?
The thing that you said Jarrett was at?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That pedophilia convention?
Pedophilia?
Pedophile convention?
Yeah,
Are you
place.
trying to say that the Reverend is not who we think he is?
He's not. He's a double life.
He has a double life?
A double life.
Well, that's most Christians, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, but I tell you what. If the Lord and Jesus Savior himself heard what you just said out your mouth, he would smite you to hell.
I'm going there anyway. I got a reserved space, man.
Or he would just drink another glass of wine because we know he liked his wine.
He's probably drinking a lot of wine watching my life.
Well, guys, speaking of going to hell or maybe heaven, hopefully heaven, we had a couple of deaths this week. Sad week. R.I.P. to Chyna and Prince. Chyna dies at the age of 45 and Prince dies at the age of 57.
57, 45.
Prince is like one of the greatest musicians ever. I fucking love Prince. I grew up listening to Prince my whole life, man. That dude had a song for everything. Little Red Corvette's about the fucking whore bitch that you were like, man, I don't really want to fuck her. She got used condoms everywhere, but you know what? Need to get off, so it is what it is.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to get backlash for it, but I've really never heard any Prince songs before.
You've never heard When Doves Cry?
Nope.
Purple Rain?
Nope.
Party Like It's 1999?
That's the only one I think I know.
Man, you call yourself a fucking fan of music? This man not only played every instrument, sung, and produced his own shit. You know, was a real musician. I know what you need. You need the auto tunes.
Oh no, I don't need an auto tune.
The fake fucking instruments being played by the computer, right?
No, I'm more about the '80s stuff. Prince was the '80s. I get that.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're moving on then.
I was about to say, so what was his cause of death?
They're saying it's complications of the flu.
Of the flu?
The
Yeah.
flu.
What was it, the swine flu?
Well, look, 3 days before, he had his plane took emergency landing because he was super sick. The next day, he played a concert, and they said he was awesome. And then the third day, they found him dead in his elevator.
In the elevator?
In the elevator.
Holy shit.
Wow.
You know another big thing happening tonight, or this week? The return of Game of Thrones. For all my Game of Thrones fans, I know it's been a long time coming, man. We've been waiting for this shit for like a year, man. Look, if you guys are Game of Thrones like fanatics, it's exciting.
Well, I'm still playing catch up, so the new season didn't really bother me at all because I still have 2 other seasons I have to watch.
I haven't watched an episode.
So what do you guys think about Chyna's career?
I mean, personally, I thought she definitely had like a very distinct look and presence about her, and you know, a lot of people are saying that she solidified the women's division and all that, but like, I will say that her credentials speaks for itself. She was the first woman to enter the Royal Rumble, and I think to eliminate a guy, right?
Right.
That's correct.
She's the first woman to win the Intercontinental Championship
Twice.
And like, honestly, I really can't talk bad about her. Was I a big fan of her? Not really, but hey, fuck it. R.I.P.
She brought, like, I don't know, a different dynamic when they formed DX. She actually played the enforcer role pretty well. She was a big bitch. I mean, good gosh, she was the 9th wonder of the world. She was huge.
There's stories out there like a lot of the guys in the back were like iffy about like putting her over because of the fact she was a woman. And like we talked about earlier, there was talks of her winning that world title in that feud with Austin, The Rock, and Mankind. And I actually talked to a guy at work. He was talking to me about Chyna, and he was like, they say she did this as the first woman, she did that the first woman. He's like, I don't really look at those as accomplishments because it's predetermined. And I'm like, well, you got to look from the fact that even though it's predetermined, they saw something in her to give her this go-ahead.
Yeah, but that was back in the day where creative was creative and the writers were good. They made storylines that were compelling. And what do we have today?
Roman Reigns.
Baron Corbin versus Kalisto for some belt you guys I think just made up called the U.S. title. I have no clue what that is. I don't even know if that's a real belt or if it's even relevant.
Well, I mean, I personally, I've kind of grown on Kalisto a little bit, but the fact that he doesn't even wrestle, he's a U.S. champion. I haven't seen the belt on the guy, and at least since WrestleMania, just means that it's a footnote. It's a joke.
Well,
there's nothing that he's doing with it.
They're going forward with this match. If they go forward with this match, there's no build-up to it.
None.
Like,
has there been build-up to any of his matches?
Baron Corbin just been going out there fucking dudes up. Like,
showed up, beat up Dolph Ziggler, or no? Yeah, who wait.
Zack Ryder.
No, his first match, Tyler Breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Tyler Breeze? His first
Yeah,
match on the main roster?
His first match on Raw, yeah. He wrestled Zack Ryder on SmackDown. His first match on Raw was, I believe it was Tyler Breeze.
It was Tyler Breeze.
I don't think it was Tyler Breeze.
It was absolutely Tyler Breeze. We were sitting right here and we watched it. It was Tyler Breeze. A guy who they need to send right back down to fucking NXT.
I agree. But I definitely think it was Tyler Breeze now that I'm starting to think more about it.
It was 100% Tyler Breeze.
I don't think it was Tyler Breeze, but
don't question the great one, Mike.
I don't
He's
know.
always
I kind of
right.
have to question on this one.
Oh, Hollywood Mike, you're about to fucking be wrong. Take out your little gadget, look it up.
I can't. I got the timer going on it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whoever the fuck he wrestled, he basically just beating the shit out of people for no reason. Now he's just beating up Dolph Ziggler. So it's pointless.
Did Dolph Ziggler and him have a match yet?
Yeah, on Raw.
They did?
I don't remember.
I sure the hell don't remember. It was so memorable I forgot. It was what it had to be within a week then.
I think he might have made his debut against Dolph Ziggler.
No, it was
because he fucked Dolph Ziggler
Tyler
up and they
Breeze.
lost the match to count out.
He came out during the Dolph Ziggler match and fucked up Dolph Ziggler.
No,
Yeah.
because he was fighting Dolph Ziggler and they both lost to a count out.
Okay.
I don't know who the fuck he beat up, but I'm pretty sure that it was a pointless fucking feud and it sucked.
But it's over, so.
It's over, and for some reason he's a number one contender. Shouldn't he have had to have defeated Ryback to be that number one contender or something?
Ryback's MIA, isn't he?
Well, hopefully he's fucking retired soon, but.
Well, according to him, he can't stand WWE in the way they misuse his great talents. He can almost walk and chew gum at the same time. God damn it!
Oh shit! Dangerous combination.
Well, I mean, speaking of the shockers of the world, how about the fact that Samoa Joe defeats Finn Balor for the NXT Championship at a live event?
Why? What's this not televised? Like, I don't get it.
Because it's time for Finn Balor to move up to start the Balor Club because they don't want to. I've already read that they don't want to turn fucking AJ Styles heel. They want him as a fucking face. So instead of that, they're going to bring up Finn Balor with the Balor Club and turn them heel.
But wouldn't that be unbeneficial for them to turn Finn Balor heel as well?
I think it's unbeneficial to bring Finn Balor up at all.
Well, I read an article today that said he's scheduled for a major push, but Balor's like trolling like a motherfucker. First he says he'll see us Monday. Now he's saying at a live event he cut a promo. He's like, I'm not leaving NXT.
Yeah, he teases. He says, "See you guys Monday," and then like you said, he says, "I'm not leaving NXT." He said that in a promo.
Right.
So is he the number one contender? What the fuck are they doing now down in NXT? Because I was honestly looking forward to Nakamura versus Finn Balor.
God, I was too, and you guys know how much I hate Finn Balor, but I was looking forward to this Nakamura Finn Balor match. I didn't think as many times Samoa Joe lost to Finn Balor, and then to all of a sudden getting the title and at some just show. Come on, man. Like I said, WWE creative at its best. No direction, no anything.
Well, I don't know if they're throwing Austin Aries into this title picture now because the match where he cut that promo about staying in NXT, it was Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor versus Austin Aries.
Well, Double J told me some disturbing news about Austin Aries yesterday.
Well, what is this?
What was that?
They're putting him in a tag team.
There was a rumor of him being immediately put in a tag team with Bobby Roode.
Why?
I guess because of their TNA chemistry, or I don't know.
That was my same question. Why? Austin Aries is a singles wrestler, man.
They can do so much more singly for the company than they can as a tag team.
Well, I don't think Bobby Roode can do anything singly. I think putting Bobby Roode in a tag team is a great idea, but not Austin Aries.
Well, if you're going to put Bobby Roode in a tag team, you need to bring back James Storm.
Damn right. Bring in beer money.
Yeah, but you can't call it beer money. It'd have to be like water money.
Why?
Because it's fucking gay PG. That's why.
Look, give TNA like $5 for the rights to the name Beer Money and buy James Storm's contract for like $2. Boom, he's at NXT.
You can call it Beer Money NXT. The main roster, they won't call it Beer Money.
Well, I think that if they stay in NXT, they will shine. If they go to the main roster, it'll be watered down.
I think them on the main roster would be good, man.
I agree. This is a really good tag team division right now.
Yep.
I mean, it's really starting to pick up, and if the WWE decides that, okay, now it is time to showcase all of our titles, because it seems to me like if they showcase the Intercontinental title to where it's at a top level, then your U.S. title is fucking down notched. So if the Divas division is shining, the tag team division is fucking struggling. Now we have it to where the only title that makes no fucking sense whatsoever is the heavyweight title and the U.S. title. Now, that is sad. That is pretty fucking sad that your heavyweight championship is put on Roman Reigns, who is just not that good. And I will say it again, he is not that good. And then your Intercontinental Championship, who's by the hated Miz of all people, is actually flourishing. So you tell me what's going on.
Because I've told you over and over and over, The Miz knows how to sell, man. The guy has phenomenal mic skills, and he easily can make you loathe him. It's natural. He's a natural heel. Put him in this natural environment, he thrives. I mean, if you ask me, I think the heavyweight title has been irrelevant since Seth Rollins won the belt. I think ever since Brock Lesnar dropped the belt, the heavyweight title has been irrelevant. Nobody fucking cares because look who's you got. The whole time we knew Roman Reigns was going to win it, so everything was just a build up for Roman Reigns to win it. And who the hell wanted to see that happen? And when it finally happened,
I mean, I like Seth Rollins. I don't dislike Seth Rollins. I think that he does have holes in his game, such as his mic skills. But if you put him in a match with AJ Styles, if you put him in a match with Daniel Bryan, if you would have put him in a match with even CM Punk, the whole heavyweight division or whatever you want to call it, the main title picture would have been good matches, good solid wrestling.
It wasn't that Seth Rollins can't wrestle. I've never questioned his wrestling ability. It was at the wrong time. He was pushed way too early, and you didn't get no closure really with Brock being champion, with Seth Rollins fucking winning it. That was the problem because you had Brock Lesnar still there. If he had took a hiatus right after that, then maybe it works a bit. And if Cena was out like he is now, then maybe it works a bit. But it was out of nowhere, and then he was champion, and then he's hurt, and Roman Reigns is champion.
Like Seth Rollins' title reign, I mean, who'd he really wrestle besides Kane and fucking Reigns? I mean, his Cena match was good at SummerSlam.
Sting.
Oh, yeah, he did wrestle Sting.
He wrestled Dean Ambrose, the very first Extreme Rules match.
Was that at Extreme? Yeah, it was Extreme Rules.
It was the very first feud. And then I think he curb stomped him on Raw.
Oh, yeah, cinder blocks.
Something, and he went away for a couple of weeks, or a couple of months, which was great. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that was the moment that Dean Ambrose started to be stale to me. Because before that, when he was actually acting crazy and shit, that is when I felt his character was peaking. Then he gets hurt or whatever happened with the cinder block. Then he comes back, and then it was just completely fucking stale to me. So I don't know. I don't really know what they want to do with him, but
his matches weren't that memorable with his title run. I mean, besides the Cena match. I mean, his Cena match is great. I don't even like Cena.
Well, Cena matches have been great lately. So what happens when you put guys in there with guys that can wrestle? He's not wrestling Great Khali no more.
Well, we talked about it yesterday, and you just brought it up now. I would love to see fucking Rollins and Bryan or Rollins and Punk.
You guys hear more comments about the Great Khali and how much we dislike him, click on over to our 15 top worst wrestlers of all time.
Oh yes, he's on there.
He's right up there.
He's right up near the top of the list. I'm not going to tell you where exactly he's at. You have to listen to it, but it's pretty high.
We tried to get him to come over and comment, but he couldn't walk here.
So I mean, speaking of the whole title picture in general, so if let's say AJ Styles, they're not turning him heel, they're not doing anything with him, he's not leading the Bullet Club, which I was kind of hoping that Finn Balor does come up and AJ Styles lead the Bullet Club.
And put them all in the Bullet Club. I kind of thought that that's the way they should go, too.
Well, I did read about that. It said if they go the storylines you're talking about with AJ going heel and all that shit, and they bring Balor up, put him in the club, they're supposed to add more members to the Bullet Club.
Who, Kenny Omega?
It didn't say who. It just said more members.
Now, me and the Great One actually talked about this last night, and I think we both said that we're not really Kenny Omega fans, which I'm really not. But there's a big but there. When they took over the Bullet Club, him and the Young Bucks. Well, I don't really think they still call it the Bullet Club.
Yeah, they do. They still call it the Bullet Club.
But they did a 3-man Superman kick to AJ Styles, and that's when what were they calling him? Carl Anderson.
Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows.
And is it Doc Gallows?
He was Doc Gallows then. Now
Carl
he's back to
Anderson
Luke
and Doc
Gallows. Now he's back to Luke
I don't know what
Gallows.
they're calling themselves, but
Festus.
Them two guys that are now on WWE, they all turned on AJ Styles. That was AJ Styles' last match. So if you can find a way to bring in the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and create a feud or create a stable with those guys, that would be great because there's never been a stable that size since the Attitude Era.
No, there hasn't.
And I think that it would be some really compelling television because guess what? Now you can actually do with these guys that you couldn't do at Nexus because they were all just rookies.
They could actually run shit.
They could.
I mean, they could hold every fucking major title. Finn Balor could hold the Intercontinental belt. AJ Styles, the fucking main belt. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson can hold the tag team belts.
That could help bring your ratings back up just like the NWO did for WCW.
All I know is if you're going to bring in Kenny Omega, please bring the Young Bucks because I can't stand Omega without him.
Well, I actually see what I was thinking, and this actually chimes into Seth Rollins again. Apparently the big rumor is Seth Rollins is going to come back. I'm still the champion, and it's going to be a brand split.
Right.
So he's immediately just going to be the champion for, I guess, maybe SmackDown, maybe Raw. And what I was thinking that if you actually start to do the brand split and add more titles, then you have the perfect opportunity to have Young Bucks as champions on one show, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson on one show. So that means they're running the whole fucking show. So that means not only will AJ Styles be a champion on one show, but maybe Finn Balor can run the next show.
And the Bullet Club's just running WWE.
The Bullet Club could just literally take over. Maybe the Bullet Club is now with Stephanie and Triple H, and maybe now they can be relevant. They could be the one pulling the fucking strings, if you know
Jeff,
what I'm saying.
Jeff, you had everything going great there, and then you had to ruin it and bring him back goddamn Stephanie and Triple H. Man.
Okay, the only reason that the Authority sucks is because it's called the Reality Era, and they just go out there and bore the shit out of you.
Well,
we all know that Stephanie cuts a better promo than half the fucking men on the roster, and we already know what Triple H could be about. They just don't do it. Now, if you put guys with them that are relevant and fucking fresh and people want, now they can literally be sitting on their throne like this is 2001 saying, okay, well, now we're running this shit, Shane.
Oh, the McMahon Helmsley era shit?
Because think about it. That's what the way it's going is SmackDown versus Raw again.
I just don't want to see every goddamn SmackDown or Raw starting off with 15 minutes of damn Stephanie and Triple H. We're the Authority. We get everything we want. Oh, blah, blah.
Regarding the Authority, there's an article they put out yesterday. The Authority's been pulled from all the upcoming live events. All advertising has been pulled off of it.
I bet because people like it better without them. And you're right. Individually or even together, they actually are really good. But the shit they're being set up to present is awful.
It's boring. That's the problem.
Yeah, we've seen this for 20 fucking years.
Why don't Triple H go out there and start making fun of the fans? Like when he used to do that shit was great.
Well,
but even then, I think is old and redundant, man. Just do your idea was the better idea. Have them just sit back. Let the Bullet Club run shit. And then every once in a while, Stephanie comes out and fucking lays a good-ass promo.
And that's the thing. Like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, like Stephanie cut that promo. That wasn't boring at all. She actually cut a good promo, unlike Shane. And I went back last night and watched old Shane promos. And Shane, back in the day, could cut a promo. Now he can't remember his fucking lines.
He really never could cut a promo.
No, I watched one when he was with the Mean Street Posse and he was fucking trash talking The Rock and Mankind, and it was pretty good. But
So I actually wanted to mention this because it all kinds of seems like it's all coming together. So like we said, we talked about Seth Rollins coming back. What if they decided that now you have a dominant faction with, the Bulletproof or whatever they're calling themselves? What if the Shield does get back together? Do you think that would help Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose?
Absolutely. It makes them almost watchable because Seth Rollins is with them.
I mean, I agree. I think that now you finally have, and you can even throw the Usos in there if you want it, because it seems like they don't know what the fuck they're doing with them either. So at this point, like, you actually have opportunities for him to bring in more people.
If you bring Roman Reigns back to what he is, he's a silent guy that you can use as an enforcer. He's actually more like a Chyna than anybody else. That comparison is the comparison that should have been made. Roman Reigns is more like Chyna than he is The Rock. I tell you that. He ain't cutting promo. Just have him not say anything because I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I am the guy is the most boring fucking promo I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Well,
it makes me want to kill myself.
We just talked about this last night. You fucking Roman Reigns is a mouthpiece. He could just go out there one day fucking to keep Paul Heyman relevant, keep him on TV. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Fucking Paul Heyman comes out, dude, ain't never got to talk again.
I mean, Paul Heyman, if you remember the Lesnar feud, Paul Heyman was like, the only reason that I even thought that the match was even believable was because of Paul Heyman. Like, the way he built the dude, the way he presented the dude, when he was like, in any other situation, Roman Reigns, you are the guy. Like, Paul Heyman could talk this dude up, and people would like it just because of Paul Heyman.
I don't think Paul Heyman's trying to work like that, though. I mean,
I'm sure he's not.
Did you see that big-ass deal he signed with Yahoo for his fucking website and shit?
No.
Oh, my God. He sold his fucking website or whatever to Yahoo, man, for like millions and
the
millions
Heyman
of
Hustle?
dollars.
He sold that?
Yeah, the Heyman Hustle. Dude, he don't need... This is why he's pretty much part-time now, because his Heyman Hustle shit is his bread and butter now. That motherfucker makes mad money doing that shit.
I mean, WWE just wanted to keep him on TV and keep him relevant while fucking Lesnar's gone. I mean, what better way to do it?
Hey, I never heard somebody say, I don't want to make more money. I would offer the dude good price for being a fucking top manager, and I would say, look, we need you. We need you on Raw because they're seriously lacking promo skills.
Yeah, but his Heyman Hustle website is pretty much a 24/7 website.
No, I'm sure.
I don't think he's going to give us something where he's 100% the owner, 100% the creative driving force. In his interview when he first signed with Yahoo, he talked about the reason he still does wrestling is because that's his love. He loves it, but he doesn't need it like he used to. He said Vince would have to offer him back one of the jobs where he's in control for him to want to come back to full time.
Could you imagine what they would do if the Bullet Club, like you said, became this elite group, and then they're trying to get another group together to fucking combat it, and Paul Heyman's leading that group?
Dude. What if Eric Bischoff led that group?
Oh, man, Eric Bischoff.
Please no.
I love Eric Bischoff.
Bischoff's days are done.
Dude, but okay. That reaction right there is why Eric Bischoff is great. Because people love to hate the dude any fucking way.
Look, I thought Bischoff was awesome at one point.
That was his whole stick, controversially creates cash.
It does, but he lost it, man. He lost it somewhere along the way.
I still think he can come back and cut a good promo.
I think he could cut a fucking promo better than half the fucking people now.
Well, he can cut a promo. But, I mean, you want to bring a guy back that used to fucking be, one of the main dogs. Why don't you bring back Cornette?
Cornette wants nothing to do with WWE.
No, he wants nothing to do with Kevin Dunn.
Well, he said he don't want nothing to do with McMahon either.
Yeah, Cornette's a liar, too. he likes this thing called money.
Either way, if this brand split does happen, you're going to need fucking guys. And what I've been reading, I sure the fuck hope it's not Teddy Long. Because I am not looking forward to him throwing Undertaker against everybody.
Oh, you mean
you're not serious? Teddy Long?
I heard Teddy Long, man.
You're no fucking way.
You could bring back John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, anyway.
People power.
Let's move on.
No, we need John Laurinaitis
so
as a gentleman.
Let's talk a little bit about John Cena. So John Cena was actually on the last episode of American Idol. Didn't mention wrestling not one time.
Dude, he's done.
He's doing True Grit.
And he's doing well, actually. I hear he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's got a couple of movies coming, or he's in a couple of movies or some shit. And then not only that, he's doing the Total Bella series. But here's the thing. So I read that John Cena is not due to come back part-time until July.
I think he's done. Honestly. That's the thing. I don't know why the WWE let John Cena branch out like this, because once he realizes he can make more money traveling less and doing less, come on, man, it's hard to fucking pass up. And he's got, look, love him or hate him, he's got charisma.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about him doing a promo with Roman. I mean, not a promo, a program with Roman Reigns.
I mean, did you guys see Trainwreck?
Yeah.
No.
He was fucking hilarious in that
hilarious.
shit. Or the end
I'll
of
punch your pee hole.
Or what was it? The end of the movie with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell,
Yeah.
where he punks the shit out of Mark Wahlberg. You know, in reference to Trainwreck, when he was like, "Mark Wahlberg, I look like the guy who eats Mark Wahlberg."
Yeah.
Dude, Cena's pretty funny, man. I don't care if you guys hate him or not. That dude's hilarious to me.
Well, he did this interview recently about fucking where he talked about he wishes there was blood.
Yeah, I read that.
He said that he hates the PG rating. Well, I didn't say he hates it, but he said he prefers a more manly rating, a more manly demographic. He said he's 38 years old and he doesn't feel as though he should be compelling to kids.
He said if he was watching, he wants something that would appeal to men of his age.
Yeah, I agree.
But he also agrees with McMahon why they have what they have.
Well, you know, he's never going to fucking go against Vince. Him and Vince are boys, and
He just said the one thing he misses is the blood. He was like, it was like the fighting aspect of it. Like the blood was so believable.
well, when you add blood, it just, oh my god, this match is real.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel. It's like if you watch a great boxing match and somebody's beat the fuck up. You know what I mean? That's what you think of. Is you think of, if you went through a war with somebody, you're going to think of scars and bruises and blood and the fact that you're beaten and battered for real.
Oh, I remember John Cena's rematch with JBL for the fucking title where he was fucking just all bloody and shit at the end of the fucking match.
I do too.
Dude, this was the oxymoron of this era is. It's called a reality era, but the realism is at its all-time low. Like, there's nothing real about it. They don't have guys out there who really can wrestle, who can really put on a good match. The guys that are champions are, I mean, look at Roman Reigns. Come on, man. What's he got? 3 fucking moves? He's worse than Hogan. I know I've said it like a billion times on here. He's worse than Hogan, but he literally only has 3 fucking moves, man.
Now, I want to mention something that, because I don't know if everybody follows John Cena's Instagram, but he normally sends out like hidden messages.
What's Instagram again?
Instagram is I guess you could say it's like a picture, video / Facebook kind of.
It's like
I
a
thought that was
face.
Snapchat. You told me.
No, that's the same thing, except that's like a 10-second kind of.
Instagram's like an online photo album,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah, it's just like
Go
a
ahead,
photo
keep
album.
going.
But anyway, he puts pictures on there that are sort of like
Very indirect.
yeah, they're very indirect. They're very like hidden message sort of quality.
Like with AJ Styles.
So he puts up this picture of, I guess somebody meshed a face. I don't know what the face is.
I know the one you're talking
but
about.
he's holding up 2 different WWE titles.
It's when he won the world or the undisputed title.
Yeah, when they joined them together.
So the brand split's happening then.
Then the very next picture is the Rock'em Sock'em Robots
With
of
the red and
the
blue.
So right there you can see that. And then
there we go.
there's the picture
SmackDown
right
versus
there.
Raw.
So it seems to me like there's a brand split going to happen, and it's going to be not only a brand split, but something I've been wanting since they stopped doing it is the fucking brand wars.
And you're talking about the brand split rather.
Brand
split. What
What's
better
wrong,
way to
Hollywood
bring?
Mike?
What better way to bring?
epilepsy.
Are you having a seizure right now? Do we need to get a spoon?
What better way to bring Cena back than have the draft in July, and he's drafted to SmackDown, he's drafted to Raw.
Look, all the years I'd stopped watching wrestling, like from like 2000 and when did Rock leave? 2002.
I think it was 03.
Okay, so
wasn't
from
it?
like 2002 back to like 2010 when I started back up again. The only episodes of Raw I'd ever watched was the draft. I love that shit. I wish that shit happened. I wish they would bring that part back.
Yeah, because not only does it It keeps certain guys away from certain guys, so you could build a brand between certain guys. Then it also shakes up the landscape of what they did on one brand. So let's say if John Cena's on Raw and Roman Reigns is on SmackDown. I'm just throwing these two names out there because obviously these are the two guys.
Man, don't get my hopes up. Roman Reigns on SmackDown means I'll never have to watch SmackDown again.
Wasn't that your show?
It is, but you know what? I'll give up Mauro Ranallo for fucking never having to see Roman Reigns another day ever.
Well, maybe he'll get drafted to Raw and he can announce for Raw.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So, yeah, you could do all kinds of crazy shit with it. But now that you have John Cena not in the way of Roman Reigns, that means these two never have to clash until a later date. So now let's say Roman Reigns gets drafted to Raw, and now you have John Cena on Raw. John Cena's obviously the guy. Roman Reigns was the guy on SmackDown. So now this is where you're sitting. You have the two guys. So it actually makes for a compelling story that you had the man from one side and then the man from the other side.
As long as one of them men ain't fucking Roman Reigns, I'm happy.
Another great thing about the draft was the fact that, like, back when they first started doing it, you know, guys on Raw who were getting outshined by guys on Raw who were getting outshined by higher guys, when they get drafted to SmackDown, they had a chance to showcase what they got and move up in the rankings.
I think SmackDown was a good, it kind of was like how NXT is now, actually. You had your guys that you could develop them and shit. I don't know. I guess a brand split would work again.
I think a brand split would be fucking fantastic.
It'd be great.
I mean, yeah, but it depends on who you have running it and what talent are you allowing to go over to SmackDown.
Oh, I'm not saying that you have to fucking keep it regular. I'm saying that you have to bring somebody in that is going to make SmackDown watchable. That's going to make SmackDown interesting. You can't just expect people to watch SmackDown just because it's called SmackDown. You have to give them reasons to watch SmackDown.
We talk about it all the time. Back when Paul Heyman was writing SmackDown was the best time. When he was doing the writing for the storylines.
Well, I mean, Paul Heyman. I mean, are you kidding me, man? I mean,
it's Paul Heyman.
Of course, Paul Heyman can make SmackDown good. He can make anything good. He can make Raw good again. But I mean, I don't know. I just think Vince is past his prime when it comes to like storylines and wrestling and shit. I think he's just well past his prime. He should let it go. Let somebody else take over for a while. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Triple H, but he's done a relatively pretty decent job at NXT. If you want him to really take over, let him run it for a little bit and see how he goes.
That's another way you can bring back Bischoff, too, if you do this draft. You can bring him back to run Raw.
Man, you guys won't let go of this Bischoff
I'm
shit,
a big Bischoff fan.
Because I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm a big Bischoff fan, but he does create controversy.
Well, I'm a big Cornette guy, so I'm just beating that drum then. Let's bring back Jim Cornette, okay?
Hey,
Tennis
and I would like to
all.
see that as well.
Let's bring up Brother Love.
I would love to see fucking Jim Cornette come back. I would love to see all of these guys. But let's face it, people hate Vince McMahon. Can't say that I don't blame him or I do blame him. But it comes down to this. If you want to start creating compelling stories, then you need to start throwing in fucking different scenarios to where it compels people. Because right now, for the past 5 years, all we have is the Authority.
Well, like you always talk about how you hate the Nostalgia Act. I mean, at a point, man, the Nostalgia Act does get fucking redundant. I mean, look at it. I mean, all wrestling is now is the Nostalgia Act back to the Attitude Era.
That's what they're trying to do.
But you were not willing to actually go the extra mile and like create compelling storylines to go with it. You don't have the fucking Rock. You don't have Stone Cold. You don't have them guys anymore. You can't want it to be like the Attitude Era, but not have the players in play to be able to fucking do it.
We'll talk about nostalgia and the Attitude Era. I hope what you're saying they're planning on doing doesn't happen with fucking trying to redo that whole NWO thing with fucking Gallows and Anderson turning on AJ Styles and aligning himself with Roman Reigns, like Hogan and fucking Nash and Hall.
No, I think he's going to align themselves with Prince David. That's Finn Balor for you.
Oh, that'd be better.
All you supposed Finn Balor fans.
I mean, I don't know what the hate is all about, but so
what? That's not new. You guys know I hate Finn Balor and fucking AJ Styles, man.
But who do you hate more?
AJ Styles. I'll take Finn Balor beating the shit out of AJ Styles every day. At least Finn Balor is talented. I can't even say AJ Styles is that.
Well, let's talk about talent. Bret Hart is supposed to be making a WWE return.
In Natalia's corner.
How long it is, I don't know. What it's about, Natalia's corner, but I would like to see him stay for a while, give a little prestige to a few different things, and I like the fact that it's aimed towards the Divas division.
Well, I mean, you know, I love the fucking Divas division. I actually thought the brand split should have been there, right there, with the women's taking over SmackDown with some of the NXT fucking people showcasing their talents. But anything get Bret Hart in, you know, I love it.
Well, talking about Natalya, I don't think she's going to win the title because one of the articles out there on one of these forums is saying they're bringing Bret Hart in to help with ratings. But when it comes down to it, Charlotte's supposed to hold the title until SummerSlam and then lose it to Sasha. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not doubting that fucking Natalya's not going to win. They're never going to let her actually win the belt again.
They always do this to her, though. They get her so close, and then it's like, oh, no, you almost had it. Almost had it.
So close, but yet so far away. I mean, when's the last time she actually held a belt anyway? I mean, we're going fucking back to what, their original women's title, I think, is when the last time she held a belt.
There has been talks about bringing in the Divas tag titles back.
Great. Bring back a fucking women's tag title and bring back one of the fucking, a lesser belt. Their version of the women's intercontinental championship. Just call it something cool. I don't know.
I mean, I think, honestly, the only thing I would like to see with the brand split is not two titles. I do not want two women's titles again.
No, not two women, not two heavyweight titles. I think it should be one heavyweight title and then one lesser title. So you can have the person, you know, so you can have stepping stones where you can, okay, she's won the intercontinental version of the belt and now she's going for the fucking main belt.
The only reason they brought back that second, or they brought in that second women's title, is because SmackDown didn't have anything for the women's division.
You could kind of do what Japan does and just have a women's junior belt. You know,
I love the junior belt shit from New Japan. I think it's great. I mean, it's clearly they have progression. There's progression. You go from the junior of that belt to the main of that belt, then to the junior of the next belt to the main of that belt.
Yeah, I like progression.
Yeah, I love progression in wrestling. We used to have it all the time. Now we have one day you're nobody, and the next night you're actually literally wrestling for the world title.
Oh, we touched on Chyna earlier, and I had to bring up what you talking about New Japan. I didn't know she wrestled in New Japan.
She wrestled everywhere after she left WWE.
I just didn't know she was in New Japan. I knew she
You
was in
probably
TNA.
didn't know Nakamura was in ROH either, did you?
If I say yes, will you believe me?
Nope.
You didn't know he was in ROH?
I did not know he was in Ring of Honor. No.
I thought you were like one of these independent guys, man.
I didn't know he was in Ring of Honor. That surprised me. I knew about everybody.
You don't remember him and ever don't know much about Nakamura or any of the Japan guys, really.
I don't. I have.
But they know AJ
They know of the guys
Styles?
that go from
America to Japan.
America to Japan. They don't know the guys that come from Japan to America.
I didn't know about Antonio
Aoki?
until they inducted him to the Hall of Fame.
Oh my Lord.
I mean, the only reason we also did, and this goes back to go listen to our top 10 best of all time.
On our YouTube page.
Our top 15, my bad. I actually put Antonio Inoki at number 2 for the factor of his MMA contributes, his promoting contributes, and his wrestling contributes. That's why he made it so high up on my list.
I had him pretty high too. I think I had him at like 4 or 5. But I mean, to not know who Aoki was, this guy literally fought Muhammad Ali, bro.
Yeah.
Why Muhammad Ali held the world fucking title?
This is the guy that beat the shit out of the great Antonio for no selling to him.
That's right.
To all of our listeners out there, you're hearing about our greatest wrestlers of all time and our worst wrestler of all time. The next couple of weeks, we're going to have another list come out. I think it's going to be the best matches of all time. Is that the one we're going with?
Probably best matches in WWE. I think that would be... We need to start breaking down the independent and the mainstream, honestly.
Well, to me, it's pretty hard even to go that route because, like me and you were talking about yesterday, I could literally name 15 fucking just Ric Flair matches by itself.
I can literally name 15 Bret Hart matches. And going back to Bret Hart, that dude's never hurt somebody in 23 years.
I know.
Not one injury to an opponent.
I saw that interview, man, where he fucking is like, he loves UFC. He loves the technicality of it and how he's inspired. It's like,
yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, I never would have wrestled if it wasn't for Bret Hart. I never would have started any of that shit because he made technical wrestling look so good. And to not hurt nobody in 20 fucking plus years.
Yeah, when I heard about that, when you told me about it, I was like, for real? Like, really?
Yeah, honestly, like it's a magnificent trait to say that you've never hurt somebody in a match. but yet you've taken so many bumps and bruises. Goldberg kicked your fucking neck out. I mean, it really says how great the guy really is. And he's pretty high up on my list. I mean, not your guys' list, but my list, he made it pretty high.
He was number 9 on my list.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking tragic.
Man, I told you. I just didn't want to feel like a homer during my damn top 15 because you guys know that Bret Hart's like my all-time favorite wrestler. That was the only reason.
Well, Bret Hart did open up about his prostate cancer, and he's doing good, beating it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great news for Bret Hart. And let's talk a little bit about what he said about the UFC. He says, what did he say? And he quoted, he said, UFC does better pro wrestling than WWE.
Wrestling.
Yeah, he talked about the promo styles and everything.
Well, I think Giannis was just talking about Conor McGregor because if you actually listen to the rest of the UFC roster, they really have no promo skills except for Chael Sonnen at the time.
Well, one of the things that he mentioned was when Cormier and John Jones were sitting face to face, he said that's what pro wrestling used to be about and should still be about.
That part, that's true. Where it's the interaction, the build up before a fight, the fucking where two guys dislike each other. Like when they used to do pro wrestling back in the 80s and 90s, you did fucking interviews against each other all the time. Like the Rock and Stone Cold would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We don't have that anymore.
No, it moves back to when Austin was fighting Michaels with Tyson Z. And first they had that big press conference, and Austin and Michaels were in each other's face. Tyson was between them or something like that.
Like the whole even contract signing stems from that time period where it was like promoting the fight. But now, I mean, Bret Hart's right. There's no realism, so there's no true underdog. There's no true any of that anymore. So everything just seems like it's just thrown together.
They tried to do that with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, though, if you remember. They tried to put them in the face-to-face sit-down conference. I think Michael Cole was the guy talking to him or something. And it worked. Like, it was actually compelling. That's the whole time. Nobody was like, oh, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. But it sold the fucking match. Paul Heyman sold the match. And then he went in there and just took a fucking beating, which was, to me, was great. And it ended with Seth Rollins cashing in and nobody had to lose besides Roman Reigns, which was great.
Brock Lesnar didn't get pinned.
Brock Lesnar has been pinned since WrestleMania 29, I think, against Triple H.
Yeah, which the problem with that is, it was okay, he immediately never really lost the title. So how come he's not wrestling for the title?
That's been my problem. That's what I was saying earlier about the whole fucking the title not being relevant. He never actually lost the belt himself, but he's actually never wrestled really for the belt again.
Now imagine that draft, the guy that picks that guy. SmackDown could totally be relevant again.
I think that's a perfect show to put him on, actually, a SmackDown.
Yep.
With Mauro Ranallo calling his matches. Oh, my God.
That's where he shined back in his heyday, right? SmackDown, when he first got drafted there.
Yep.
He came over exclusive with the championship.
But, talking about Brock Lesnar and UFC and whatnot, Conor McGregor tweets Tuesday that he retired.
And then he fucking sold UFC 200 without fucking having to go to any promotional tour or anything.
Yep.
And then what does he get in return? Dana White pissing all over him. And the sad thing is, if you got a guy that made you $400 million in 3 fights, which is 8 months, I would fucking give that dude any leniency he wants because he's selling his own fight. So the fact that you want to spend $10 million to promote when he's telling you don't need to, and he wants to train because he just got his ass beat, which I respect totally, because if I got my ass beat by somebody, I'm not going in there with no training either. See, that's the thing with Dana White, man. He literally pimps out his fighters, man. He did the same shit with Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey literally had to sell every other pay-per-view because he didn't have main event talent to do it. And she's doing promotional tours by herself. She's the only one promoting. And then when she lost, she basically said, look, I didn't fucking train for this shit. I literally was doing promotion all the way up until the day of the fight in Australia. And now the same thing with Conor. Conor likes to fight. He loves the training aspect of it. He wants to be the best. But he knows he's the only guy who can go on a promotion tour and sell the shit. So he's left with selling every fucking pay-per-view he's on. I don't see Nate Diaz having to go out there and doing the promotional tours. And we know the Diaz brothers are notorious for not wanting to do promotional tours. So why is Conor being left the only person to fucking sell this shit? And you're right. He told him, save your $10 million. I could do it all right now from never fucking leaving the house. And he did it. And Dana White is pissed because he proved that he could fucking do it. He has that kind of draw power.
I mean, it's like you said, he broke the internet, and it was to the point where fucking WWE thought it was so real they were trying to contact him. They had a video on their YouTube page talking about him. Becky Lynch was fucking plugging him.
Exactly. He literally created the biggest buzz out of nowhere.
Austin Aries was trying to recruit him.
Right.
I mean, do you blame him? Dude, you put fucking Conor in the WWE, a guy with that kind of mic skills. Do you know what he could fucking do to people? I mean, he mind fucks the shit out of people now. And imagine what he would do to fucking fake ass wrestlers.
If let's say he did come to the WWE, what would you do with him?
Well, for the first 5 to 6 months, I would bulk him up to at least 200, 205, 210 pounds. And after that, I could pretty much sell him for anything. Because let me tell you, you know what he can do? He can do every kick out there. He is a phenomenal athlete. He has fucking punching power like no fucking tomorrow. Dude, his mic skills are ridiculous. You put him in there with guys like Nakamura. Do you know the matches they can fucking put on?
I mean, pro wrestling is a little different than just being athletic. He's got to learn to put it together. If his realism takes too much of him, then it's just going to be another boring Brock mic.
But I'm saying, if you put him there with you wrestle him against a guy like Nakamura with the hard style, with that type of style of wrestling, it sells.
Well, you know what I would do with him? He would win my Money in the Bank, and then you wouldn't see that guy until he needs to see that guy. That's what he'd be cutting promos on Raw, and that's it. He'd be in a suit. He'd be doped out. He would never fucking wrestle. If he's wrestling, it's at
glasses.
If he's wrestling, it's at big pay-per-views, and he's holding my briefcase, and that's it.
And actually, I would add some realism back to fucking pro wrestling. I'd have him knock somebody out like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I would just have him fight fucking Nakamura.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck it.
No holds barred, no disqualification. Let's go at it.
Would you book him against Lesnar?
I wouldn't put him against Lesnar. I don't want to see Lesnar
big.
wrestle anybody.
That's too big.
So, if you're asking me, that's the truth.
Well, yeah. I mean, he has turned into a one-trick pony. I'm not going to lie. The same fucking German suplex over and over is kind of fucking old.
Right, he's a guy that I want to like just because of who he is and what he stands for, and you know that he could really beat the shit out of you. But if you're watching it as a fan, you're not enjoying it.
Well, he's the guy that...
You're enjoying Paul Heyman coming out and promoting the match. That's it.
We know from watching him over a decade ago, he's got more than just one fucking move. He's got more than one suplex in his arsenal.
His matches with Eddie Guerrero, his matches with Kurt Angle.
You said
even his matches with the Big Show, The Undertaker from 2002 or
that Hell in a Cell
2001.
match they had? Fuck.
I mean, dude, the dude had potential to be great.
He still does.
Great. Now he's just like, I don't give a fuck.
Dude, going back to Conor McGregor, I was just sitting here thinking about this. Could you imagine Conor McGregor cutting a promo with Roman Reigns? How he could fucking absolutely destroy that motherfucker on the microphone and then pretty much piss on him because Roman Reigns couldn't take that kind of fucking punch? I'm sorry. Nobody could take the left, bro. Dude, he would fucking absolutely destroy Roman Reigns on the microphone and probably had that motherfucker go home cry. Because that dude has no personality, has no business fucking wrestling to me. Dude, I'm to the point I don't never want to see that motherfucker because I don't care if he is 260 fucking pounds. I see 260 pound guys in the gym all day, and I don't want to watch them wrestling either.
What if you didn't bring him in as a wrestler at first, and you put him as Cesaro's manager?
Damn.
Oh, damn, Mike.
Damn.
What are you trying to do?
I would put him with Cesaro as his manager first.
I mean, if you're asking me, I wouldn't put him with Cesaro.
I would.
If anything, I would have fucking created. Yeah, it would be like not even the League of Nations. Like I would bring Becky over. I would bring fucking Sheamus over. He'd be fucking pretty much just leading a group of fucking Irish.
Finley back.
Finley, man, Finley's a guy. I don't know why people hate on.
I like Finley.
Who the hell has been Finley? That motherfucker. You was
Oh
talking
my
real
God,
great.
dude.
Jesus.
I seen this fucking YouTube video about Finley. How he sucked. How he was always fat and all this other shit.
Finley
boy.
would literally beat
I said,
people
you obviously
up.
never seen his William Regal matches. Holy shit.
Dude, yeah, that dude literally would fuck people up, man.
Well, why didn't they put
Down
William
my
Regal
list.
with fucking Wade Barrett?
Huh?
Well,
William Regal could have managed Wade Barrett.
Look, man, I at this point, I don't think that anybody needs to manage anybody. If you don't have it, then you need to find it.
Right.
If you can't find it, then you need to buy it. It's that fucking simple.
I think managers can make a comeback in this age.
I definitely think managers can make a comeback.
I'm glad you said that because that's my theory on women, too. If you don't have it, just go buy it, baby.
But yeah, so the internet gets broken. He literally gets fucking broken by Conor McGregor. Dana White pretty much just says, well, you know what? My dick's bigger than yours, and fuck you, you're not in UFC 200. So now you have a very mediocre card. They're trying to pay GSP an arm and a leg to come back without doing any promotional. So why can't Conor McGregor just say, all right, I'm training. If you want a promotional, I will record this bitch at my camp. I guarantee he can come up with something much better than what the fucking TV producers can.
Dude, he can Skype a better promo than anybody else could put together.
That's what I'm saying.
He don't need to fucking be there.
That's literally what I'm saying.
Well, the news is now they're trying to go for John Jones and Cormier to the main event, UFC 200.
I don't want to see that either. After watching John Jones last night, that just wasn't good to me. Like, that was a poor excuse of fucking ability. I don't give a fuck how long you've been out. I don't give a fuck about anything. You were supposed to be the greatest fighter in the world.
But really,
and you couldn't beat a dude that had no time to even get cardio together.
It really is his fucking first dud, though. He really has never had a dud match.
Yeah, he has. His Cormier match sucked.
He destroyed Cormier.
He did, but it sucked. He destroyed the same dude last night too. But
Cormier didn't want to fight that fight.
Well,
Cormier fucking did nothing that fight. He wasn't trying to do anything.
I don't know. I mean, at this point, like I said, UFC needs to put Conor McGregor on the map. If not, he needs to go to WWE. He needs to bulk up a little bit, and he just needs to run his fucking mouth. What better platform to do it than WWE?
Dana White is trying to prove he has a bigger dick so much that he's even contemplating giving GSP an exemption of the Reebok deal.
Yeah.
Just to prove Conor McGregor he don't need him.
He needs him. They're already getting talked about being bought out.
$400 million in 8 months. Yeah, you need that guy. I'm sorry. You imagine if fucking Conor McGregor was in fucking WWE and he made them $400 million in 8 months. Vince McMahon would literally let that motherfucker do whatever the fuck he wants, whenever the fuck he wanted to.
It would change that rating to the Conor McGregor rating.
Well, Conor says we need to do this, and guess what? That's what the fuck we're doing because $400 million says he's the motherfucking man.
Oh, I agree. Plus, not to mention, he made them $400 million. That's without merchandise. That's without fucking everything else that is involved with
that's
it.
just pay-per-views and fucking gate sales.
A lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for a big-time name like that.
And let me tell you, the UFC was hurting for names. Once Ronda Rousey took that break, they were like, oh, shit. Because the only other person to sell money like that is fucking Rousey. Could you imagine both of them going to the WWE?
Well, I thought Rousey should have went there, period.
They had video of her training in wrestling, so.
I just think she wants to fucking... She doesn't want to go out not the champ. She wants to come back, win the title, and then retire. That's exactly what
probably what she'll do. Because now she's to the point to where she don't need to fight no more.
Well, she's actually been to that point for the past, year and a half, 2 years now.
Yeah, I mean, she has her movies, she has her modeling gigs, she has everything.
Well, we're on the subject of Ronda Rousey. If you're out there and you're listening,
Mike should whip your ass. Paige,
I would let her whip my ass.
I'll let you go, but
girl, I will let you break my arm just to take you down the button.
You wouldn't have to let her.
Oh yeah, you don't have to let her. She would fuck you up.
I'm gonna take
not to
you.
mention her boyfriend's 6'7".
I don't give a fuck about her boyfriend.
260, you knock the shit out of you too.
Oh, worth it.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Well,
and he likes to beat women, and you are pretty feminine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. New subject. But seriously, Rhonda, call me.
Yeah, call him. Call him and tell him how stupid he fucking sounded.
Tell me how stupid I said I'm banging that fucking ass like, yeah.
Man, she was strapped the dildo on and bang your ass.
Uh-huh.
But you like this shit.
But, I mean, if we're talking about anything that is promotional, that CM Punk, dude, he just needs to give up. He lost 15 out of 16 of his fucking fights. Well, or his fake fights, or whatever the fuck they were. Simulated fights.
I
simulated
read about
fights
that.
in training camp. If you can't beat guys in your own camp that they're trying to feed you, how you going to beat a guy who actually wants to beat your ass?
Exactly. Well, why? Look. I dislike him for how fake he is and his fucking cocky arrogance against the fucking greats. But he just needs to go back to wrestling. It would be good for wrestling. He can come back and change things or whatever the fuck he says he was going to do. And then the draft actually means a little something more. Because now you got a bigger name than fucking Roman Reigns and fucking whoever that can wrestle these guys like AJ Styles and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. He actually has a platform to thrive now. And he left like a bitch.
McMahon's always been welcome to bring a Punk back. It's all Triple H doesn't want him to come back.
Fuck Triple H. Let's see him Punk fight him. He might actually do that. Dude, I'm with you. Give the shit up, man. You can't beat motherfuckers they're trying to let you beat. How you going to be the guy who's going to want to whip your ass? And let me tell you, whoever fights you is going to want to make an example out of your ass. So they're going to embarrass the fuck out of you. Look, you can only fake injuries so long, man. You're already almost 40. Let it go.
I agree. I think that honestly, the sad thing about it is he probably deep down knows that he's stupid. That he left money.
I think you're right. I think he's come to the realization in these training camps saying, man, I let that money go for what?
Yeah, he let it go. He was probably one of the highest paid guys if he was selling merchandise like everybody says he was.
He was up there.
Yeah, because you're the bookie. But
I am the bookie.
Yeah, I'm sure. But if he was doing other things he said and he was the rating guy and all that shit, then he was making a considerable amount of money to deal with fucking wrestling The Undertaker, to deal with losing to The Rock. I don't give a fuck who you are, dude. If Bret Hart was on the card and he was wrestling fucking... who was he wrestling for that main event for the title? Chris Jericho? If Bret Hart was wrestling fucking Chris Jericho, then The Rock and Cena's still going last. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yes. I'm dead serious.
Definitely. The Rock and Cena? Come on, The Rock is fucking... Hollywood megastar. You're talking guy who makes $20+ million a fucking movie.
And you're talking about the face of the company for the past fucking 12, 13 years. Bret Hart, to me, is a fucking big star. He's fucking great. So was Chris Jericho. But you got to look at the fucking draw of now. I mean, come on.
Look, I'd rather lose to The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, any day of the week compared to losing to guys that are called Mickey Gale, or any of them fucking guys that are going to, like, not just beat you, but fucking embarrass the living fuck out of you. And they're going to fucking hurt the shit out of you. I'll take them guys. I would lose to them guys any day compared to that shit.
Oh, I agree. I don't really want to fight somebody that's going to punch me in my fucking face if I could literally go out there and get a good reaction by beating up people that aren't going to really punch me in my face.
And if I can make more money not getting hurt, seriously?
So you're making more money and you're coming at the back end of your career, so you could have retired at least semi on top. So you could have had a couple more runs. You could have fucking... And then you could have pleased your fans, for one. Because what is he doing now?
Nothing.
His fans are saying, oh, CM Punk's going to win. And what happens if he gets his ass beat for 3 straight fights? Then guess what happens? His marketability goes way down here because now they're saying, well, you couldn't go beat 185 guys. I don't think you've beaten 240-pound guys. That's the sad thing about it.
I mean, dude, to go from pro wrestling to MMA, if he has no experience in anything, he never wrestled, he never boxed, he never did any of this shit. And I think at 37, 38 years old, you could just switch sports because in pro wrestling you were good.
Oh, apparently he's like a purple belt or something in fucking
Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Whoa.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu or some shit.
Oh, big thing now. I mean, back in the fucking late 90s, that would have been awesome, but dude, Jiu-Jitsu's pretty much been fucking made irrelevant. Stand-up guys pretty much rule.
Yeah, but I personally think he should go back to WWE. If you people think he should go back to WWE, go ahead and give us a like and a comment. Tell us if you think Conor McGregor will be fighting at UFC 200. Tell us if you think John Cena is going to be back in July. And tell us if you think Roman Reigns will prevail against AJ Styles in the Bullet Club.
And tell us if you think Ronda Rousey's going to call me, because I have hope and faith. But with that being said, you head on over to our webpage, www.therinksidepowerhour.com, read the articles, watch the videos, listen to the SoundCloud, whatever you want to do. And after you do that, head on over to the gram, as the Reverend calls it. Like the photos, like his. He doesn't really get a lot of likes, so give him some love, you know what I'm saying? And then you go head on over to our YouTube page, www.youtube.com, The Ringside Power Hour, where you can listen to all of these episodes and our upcoming episodes. Like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, we're going to get out of here.
Fuck you.
See you.
Later.